Welcome to this online standards development training for voters using option B, those who do not manage their national mayor committees in the global directory. So for this training, we're going to focus really on how the OSD will work for you for collecting that information from your national mayor committees. So we're going to look at what is the OSD, the knowledge base. So this is your library for OSD resources, how to identify projects with online documents so that you can be prepared to put these features into use, gathering comments, how to upload comments into the OSD, moving, organizing, and submitting those national comments, as well as a final summary and some help and support. A note on the training content. Some of the videos and images were taken in the training environment, so they may not be completely up to date with what you'll see when you actually click on the OSD. We are making changes and regular updates to the tool so that it can work best for you. And additional functionalities are being added all the time. We'll look at where you can find that information in the help desk knowledge base as well. And just as a quick reminder that as this is a recording, you can change the playback speed. So if I'm speaking too fast or too slowly, you should have options on the bottom menu, kind of where you're pressing play, to change the playback speed if you want this to run either slower or faster. To get started, let's look at what is online standards development. So online standards development is all about creating a single source of truth. So a place where we can have collaborative authoring, member commenting, comments resolution and consensus building, as well as ISO CS internal editing, all happening in the exact same document in real time. This also means we can have technology-assisted standards development. So we've integrated aspects of the ISO stages of development. We've got assisted authoring, and we've automated the directives to help ensure that this is really benefiting our members when they're developing standards. So for committees, what does that look like? It means having a more collaborative, more effective, more transparent experience for developing their standards, as well as better guidance when going through the directives. For members during these stages, the OSD can ease your national commenting process when it comes to standards. So for those who have access, which we won't look at in this training, they can comment right in the document. But as well, you will have tools to facilitate your consensus building process with an improved methods of consolidating and managing national comments and a simplified submission function for submitting your national comments by voters. So we'll really focus on these second two aspects of the tool today. Now, with that said, the processes and directives have not changed. So these parts of the standards development process remain the exact same. The main thing that's different is where you're working. So let's look at member commenting during a CD consultation or DS ballot for those voters who are not managing their national mayor committees in the global directory. Oops, I've missed a slide. Here we go. So for these two stages in the member commenting process, you must submit your comments to ISO directly to the platform. So there are two options available. Option A is for those who are managing their national mayor committees in the global directory. The global directory is really what drives access to the tool. So we have a separate training focused on this so that we can cover everything relevant to those users. This training, we're focusing on option B, what happens when we're gathering national comments using the traditional template, but then uploading it into the OSD. For both of these methods, the comments are submitted directly online in the OSD, and this must be done before the consultation or ballot closes. National comments will be visible and accessible to the ISO committee manager only once the consultation or ballot has closed. So After this short introduction about what is the OSD, we recognize that you probably have much more questions than we'll cover in this training. So to answer all those questions and to let you know where you can find feedback after watching this training, let's take a look at the knowledge base. Welcome to the ISO Help Desk Knowledge Base page. Here under Online Standards Development, we've got many articles and resources to get you not only started, but also to continue working within the Online Standards Development tool. So on the left-hand side, we've got many links, whether you're just getting started, you know what you're looking for in terms of drafting in an online document, as well as different features, including commenting, resolving comments, and key stages such as member commenting during a CD consultation or DIS ballot. There are articles that'll walk you through each of these aspects of the OSD. The Getting Started page also has our OSD release notes. These are also linked to at the bottom, and these release notes will tell you what exactly is new in the OSD. We're making continued improvements to the tool, so this is a great place to look when you want to know what the most recent additions and improvements are. Now, if you are using the OSD as a National Mirror Committee member or a voter, we have quick start guides for both of these groups. And these are resources you can easily share as well within your colleagues for those who are looking for more information on the OSD tool. So the knowledge base is really the place that you'll have to go to, and we'll come back to that at the end of the course as well. Now, let's take a look at how you can identify projects with online documents. From OSD projects, we have an additional filter added in to search for those items with an online document. This is found from the Search tab under Additional Filters. Once you've set up a search, you can have this saved for later reference. So going to the Search tab, selecting under Additional Filters those with online documents, you can also choose the stage you want to focus on. And then click on Search. Once you've got the search done, on the top right-hand corner under the three-dot menu, you can save this as a predefined search to quickly go back and double check which projects you have that contain an online document. So let's get into the key aspects of working with the commenting template in the OSD. So for this process, the first two steps remain largely the same as to what you've already been doing. So as a voter, you're going to disseminate the PDF documents to your national stakeholders using your usual channels. After this, your national experts would place their comments in the traditional and current ISO IEC commenting template. Part 3 is where we start to do a few new things in the OSD, where you'll actually upload your consolidated commenting file into the OSD and submit the comments to ISO. Now, for the first step is you want to access the online document and download either a Word document that you'll convert to PDF, or now we do have the possibility to save directly as PDF from the Other Actions tab. So on the top right-hand side, next to your name, you'll have an Other Actions button, and from this drop-down under Preview, you can select Export as either HTML, DocX, or PDF. Next, you'll take this document and you'll disseminate the PDF to the national stakeholders. So this is done using whatever channels you are currently using to have these sent out, along with the commenting template. And now here's the part where we start to use new aspects of the OSD. So you're going to upload your consolidated commenting files into the OSD. Going back to that same other actions menu in the top right-hand corner of the OSD, you're going to go down underneath the preview button we looked at just before to where it says comments. From here, the last option is to load comments from a file. This will take you to a new page where you can click on the uploading comments file selector button. So choosing a file within the blue button. And from here, you can select your document. If there are errors in the document, these will be clearly noted on the right-hand column. So we have a screen just for that next. So when you have the upload file, it's going to let you know if there are any errors, and it should describe the exact error written. So the ones we see here, they're a little blurry in my screenshot, but perhaps a label doesn't exist in the document, which might be tied to a typo. Perhaps there's a 91 instead of a 19, something like this. Or you might have a comment that is not accurately placed. So we have a comment must not contain an image or any objects. So something like this will also be flagged. Although generally speaking, the commenting file does follow the exact rules that are currently in place for submitting comments to ISO in this format. For a quick look at what goes where in the template, if you have comments and proposed changes, these are going to be added as a proposal. So they'll show up with the proposed change indicated and the comments being listed as your motivation for that proposal. If there are no proposed changes listed, it's going to show up as a comment where you won't have any proposed changes listed in the document. And the clause or subclause number is where it's going to be attached to. Now you have two options when you're using this commenting template. One would be to add in all of your comments, raw data, and consolidate them within the OSD. The other one would be to consolidate them all in advance and then only submit the final document. So if you've got all of your comments already consolidated using whatever methods and tools that you do at the present, and you're ready to simply upload and submit them, you can check off this box next to the import option to submit all of your imported comments as national comments to go on to the next stage in the standards development process. So this will upload and submit them at the same time. One key thing to note is that when you upload these comments, they will show up at the clause or subclause level. They'll be attached to the title. However, you can very easily move the comments by simply highlighting the text where you want the comment to go and indicating that that's where you want them to move. So the first step, of course, is to select which comment you want to move, clicking on the three-dot menu where you have a move option, and from here, selecting where you want it to go, and then you'll be prompted to place the comment there. I'll let that animation run through one more time, as this really is a key function when uploading comments from a file and if you want to place them more precisely in the text. So again, clicking on the move option and then moving to where you want it to go. Here is another look at this feature. And I'll let this one also play one more time just so you can see exactly where this move button is. So let's take a closer look at how this all comes together.
So you can see here that I'm starting to have a little bunch of comments and I'm going to load more. So I'm going to demonstrate the load from file feature. So as Christina has shown, basically I have this here and I'm going to select a commenting template. So again, the commenting template has to match the requirements of the current commenting template. So same columns, same column names, textual change only, and here we have feedback from the tool that's going to tell me if there are any errors. So here my clauses are fine, they exist in the document. I'm not trying to load something for a clause that doesn't exist. The comments are all of the right type, technical, editorial, general. And whenever I propose a change, there's a motivation which is provided as well. There's an additional check we do that we haven't talked about. If I try to reload comments I've already loaded in the past, the tool will let me know that be careful, you're going to load a duplicate. There's exactly the same comment already loaded on your country for that clause, which is pretty cool. It avoids to do the work multiple times afterwards for the committee manager. You can see here a little checkbox that was added recently. As a voter, I can submit the comments as national immediately when I load them. And in that case, if I'm a member body with all the processes to discuss the comments internally, if I have the tooling, etc., and I just provide a national commenting template, doing this will immediately load the comments as national, and I have nothing else to do. As a voter, that's the only step I need to do, and basically it saves me a lot of time. If I want to load comments that still needs to be discussed in the OSD, using all the capabilities of the tool, the tagging, the topics, I don't check that box, and the comments will be loaded in my name, and we can then afterwards deal with them. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm importing these comments. You can see it's pretty fast. We can load around 100 comments a minute. And clicking on this link, I'm going to refresh the document. And this time you can see that there is a lot of comments that have been added. I'm going to go to the clause 4.1 here, where you see the comments that have been basically loaded from the file. And I loaded quite a bunch of comments. All the comments, like I told during the presentation, are attached to the clause title. And then it's possible for me to move them more precisely where they actually apply. So if it's a proposal of a change on the paragraph or on a sentence, I can, as a voter, move that comment precisely where it actually belongs. And I can then submit it as national manually. And I'm going to save my decision. And now the comment you can see is become green. It has the flag, and I can carry on here.
All right, so once we have all these comments into our document, let's look at the ways where OSD can help manage these comments and also do additional things to help you consolidate your comments if you want to use the OSD tool to also consolidate comments. So these are some advanced features both for option A and for option B. So for viewing and organizing your comments, we have this lovely tool called our Manage Comments dashboard. This can be accessed in two places. One is on the top menu. There should be a button directly to it, as well as on the right-hand side, there'll be a tab underneath the Overview tab that says, we can see it right here, Comments to Resolve. And these are two places where you get a dedicated view of the comments themselves. Once you open the Manage Comments dashboard, you'll see the total number of comments and change proposals in the draft, the top 5 clauses with the most comments, unresolved topics by topic, which I'll discuss in a moment, as well as those without any, as well as a breakdown of their status. So this will be all that have been either made national, unresolved, or rejected. We also see a breakdown by type. So for example, if you're uploading all of your comments and submitting them directly, then this will look a little bit different because our breakdown by status will show that all of the comments have been submitted. If we move along on our comments dashboard, this is our first tab, the Overview tab. But if we jump one over, then we're looking at the Comments tab. And this is really a dedicated view of the comments themselves. From here, you can filter them by using the different options provided, such as type, tags, or resolution status. And you can also view the comments in the context of the document itself. So here's a quick animation just showing how this really gives you a dedicated look. You can also expand or collapse by section. So if you want to focus in on the comments within a specific section of the document, this is a great place to do that. Our different filters available do differ a little bit by project stage, but this is a general summary of what we have and what you can use to go through the different comments and only have those that are relevant to what you're doing show up. If you need to modify the type of comment, you can also do this from here under the little arrow drop-down menu next to that information. You can just quickly edit it. But now I did mention topics and tags. So topics and tags are an aspect of the OSD that are designed to help you consolidate your national comments. And so if you're uploading all of your documents that you've received, the commenting templates, before consolidation, you can consolidate the comments in the OSD. Now, topics are used to group comments together under a specific area of work or topic that you might be having at a future meeting or something like this. Essentially, the topics work like a bucket. You can only add one topic at a time to a comment, very much as if you were putting that comment inside a bucket. Tags, on the other hand, are an additional piece of information to help you better filter and locate your comments before submission. This is much like adding a label to your comment, and you can add as many labels as you want. These can both be added within the Manage Comments dashboard. So looking at the topics, once we're on that comments tab, we have two different buttons taking us to the topics. The one on the left is where you're going to add and remove your topics from the different comments. And the one on the right will actually take you to that dedicated Manage Topics page where you can view comments per topic or add in new topics. To create a topic and to assign topics to a comment, first you're going to click on the little check boxes to select which comments you want to include. Then from the topic drop-down menu on the left-hand side, you're going to click to add these comments to a topic. Now, clicking on this button is going to take you to our topics dashboard, where you can either select an existing topic or create a new topic. Topics can also have descriptions added to them. Meanwhile, for tags, they have their own tab in the Manage Comments dashboard. So if you go to the third tab after comments, this is our tags tab, where once you're there, you can simply type in the new tag you want, which we can see in this screenshot by the number 2, and then click on the Add button by number 3. Once you have tags identified in your document, you can edit or delete them using the pencil for editing and the little trash bin for removing on this page. Now, if you are editing a topic or a tag, it'll be updated on anything that it's attached to. If you remove that topic or tag, it'll simply be removed from anything that it's attached to as well. Now, this is looking at how these are assigned in the Manage Comments dashboard, but if we go to the, I'm a slide ahead. All right. If we go to the main view of the page, you can also add them there, but we'll see that shortly. First, we'll take a quick look at where these are added in the Manage Comments dashboard. So in that dashboard, right next to the topics page, we have the option to select one or more comments, just like we did for the topics, but then rather clicking on to add a topic, you're going to click on the Add or Remove Tags dropdown. We can see highlighted by the number 2, and here you'll have checkboxes. So you'll simply click on the checkboxes to set your tags. You do want to create your tags before they'll show up in this list. Now, as I previously started to say, you can also add these directly from the document. So let's take a look at a little bit of how this works.
Here. I'm starting to have a big amount of comments and it's becoming a bit difficult for me to follow up. That's why we have this managed comment model that Christina has brilliantly presented today. Here we change our perspective. We really are in the dashboard, in a monitor to organize the comments and to follow up. So basically the topics that you can see here and the tags, they are tools we provide committee managers, voters, when they have to deal with a lot of comments and they want to organize their work. These are features that will never be used if you have 5, 6, 7 comments, because you can very easily deal with them just from this place. You can just go here, you can just add some stuff and you can submit them, reject them. But as soon as you have a lot and there's a notion of priority, is when these features become very useful, because you can create as many tags as you want. So low priority, medium priority. And at the moment, we don't provide any default tags. The committee managers, the voters, they can do anything they want. They can create 100 if they need to. And we've seen some committee managers and voters actually using these features a lot. And then these tags I can add directly into the comments, either from the document itself. So I'm going to add a tag here saying that this one is urgent. There we go. I'm saving it. And now when I want to filter here, because I have a meeting with my national mirror committee, I'm just going to come here and I'm going to filter all the comments which are urgent, and I'm focusing where it matters. So basically, I have 2 comments which are urgent, and we can just skip from one to the next. And the same way, I can actually add these tags to the comments from this place here, where I have a visibility of all comments that are in my document, but on a list view. So we are outside of the publication, and I'm just focusing on the comments that are there. I can collapse the view to see where they are in the document. Okay, so here I have 9 comments on clause 4.1. It seems to be a hotspot. Let's look into them. Okay, I have these comments. This one is dealt with. Perfect. So I can filter here. Actually, I do not want to see the submitted comments. And now I can really focus. So there's a little issue here. I need to check that, but this should be removed. It's good to sometimes do demos. And I can focus on the rest of my work. Regarding the topics, because it's sometimes confusing for users, the difference between topics and tags. Topics are a way for you to merge comments and group them together when they are similar or they kind of relate to each other. So tags are just a data, an additional filter you add to enrich the comment. So you say that this comment is about ISO, it's about cars, it's about environment. Here it's deeper. Basically, you can group and merge comments that relate to the same issue but are different, or they are all duplicates. So basically, you want to create a big bucket, like I like the expression bucket Christina used. It's a bucket, and then you can filter on the bucket, and you see all the comments that relate to that bucket. And what is really nice is that you can add, you see some description. So basically, those 3 comments have been grouped. They are French comments about sustainability. And here, as an NMC, you can add all the discussion that you're going to have about this topic to make the National Mirror Committee expert understand why some of their comments are raised and some of their comments are not raised as national ultimately. And the same applies at resolution stage of national comments at stage 3060, 4060. The committee managers have this possibility to group comments together, add this rationale here, so that afterwards, for the experts who are going to follow up, they can see that their comment was taken into account. It was grouped inside the topic. It has been discussed. There's a rationale why they are going to be resolved this way, why they are going to be deferred, why they are going to be accepted. And then you can basically save that resolution at the topic level. And when you are inside here, you can resolve the comment at once, like I showed you. I'm selecting those 3 comments. We are going to submit them, or we are going to reject them with an additional motivation. that is here. So it's definitely more steps than they could have been in the past, but it really enriches the processes of resolution of comments a lot, and it facilitates the experience for the committee managers and the voters, also to bring that transparency, which is very much needed when experts afterward try to follow up why their comments was accepted, rejected, etc. In the dashboard here, as you can see, I'm only going to see the topics that still contain unresolved comments. And why do we do that? Basically, it's like issue management. So you create your topics, you group your comments inside, and you deal with them, and you can see the progress of your work. So here I only have one open topic left with 2 unresolved comments. It helps me organize my work. So you see, I have 100 comments. I create 10 topics with 10 buckets of 10, ordered by different priorities, and I can just go through them, solve my issues, and provide a clear guidance also about how much time I need to carry on with my work, etc. So this dashboard is always updated on the fly. When you make action, you can go back here, it's updated with the new data, and you can see where the comments are and how many are left and what is their type and in which clauses they belong.
All right, so that's a good overview of how this Manage Comments dashboard is designed to work, as well as a quick look ahead at what we'll look at next, which is removing and submitting these comments, so making them national. So for rejecting national comments, these can be done from the individual comments themselves. From the commenting card while you're in the document, you can click on the Manage Comment button, the blue button at the top, choose your decision, whether you're submitting it or not, and then save your decision. So for managing these comments in the document itself, you really follow the blue buttons. And here, if we filter, we can then see that this one was not accepted. These comments that are not accepted will not move forward and be seen by the committee managers in the next stage. So they will show up with this not accepted button. You can also edit or remove a comment using the using the 3-dot menu. Once a comment has been made national, if you're doing this from an imported document, discarding a national comment will completely remove it from the document. Now, that said, as Patrice mentioned in the video recording we saw earlier, if you are importing comments from a document, it will look for duplicate comments already made. So if you've deleted something in error that was a national comment, you can simply re-upload the file and it won't duplicate any of the other comments that already exist in your document. As a voter, you also have the option to create a new comment and make that comment national directly. So while making a new comment or proposal, you can simply check off the Make National box. And one thing we would have seen through these slides and demonstrations is that our national comments do show up with a different look and feel. We'll come back to that in a moment. Now, the Comments to Resolve tab has many of the same functions as the Comments dashboard. So from here, by popping out this right-hand tab, we've got different options to access the filters as well as manage the Comments dashboard, as well as view comments per clause and resolve multiple comments at once. So this is another way you can resolve your comments individually if you're using the OSD to consolidate them after uploading. So from the commenting card, you can also resolve each comment. As we saw above with rejecting, it's a similar process, except this time we're going to click on the Accept button. So once again, you follow the blue buttons. So clicking on the Manage Comment button to pop open the different options, choosing to submit that comment as national, and saving the decision with the next blue button. Now we can see that the comment is showing up as a national comment in green. You have one more option next to that Save Decision button, and that is to save a draft decision. So this is if you're still going to have a few final meetings to discuss the different items, you may want to save these as drafts. This can also be searched using the filters. So once you have a number of comments saved as draft decisions, you can simply filter by these comments to go back to them in order to confirm your decisions. And as mentioned, once the comments are submitted, they will show up in green. You'll also see that no individual names are present on the comments. They'll just have a NSB country code identifying them, as well as a little flag to indicate that they are national comments. If you're uploading all of your consolidated comments and submitting them directly, they should all show up looking like this in green. So let's go through a quick summary of all the different things we've covered in this video. For member commenting online, when you are not managing your committees through the global directory, comments are collected through the traditional methods using the current template. From this template, the comments are uploaded into the OSD. Then they can also be submitted directly as national comments if you have a good process for consolidating those comments beforehand. That said, if you want to use the OSD to resolve your comments themselves, it's got many features to support comments resolutions, as well as to organize your comments themselves. You can also resolve multiple comments at once using the right-hand menu and reuse resolutions. Please keep in mind that all comments must be submitted to ISO in the online document using these methods if the document is online. For help and support, we looked at the knowledge base earlier, and you also have a quick access button to it anytime you're in the OSD. So while viewing the online document, you've got this red question mark in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and this gives you an in-page access to the knowledge base as well as the contact form for contacting the help desk. So if you click on that, you'll get a little pop-up that can provide you with some support directly. We also have this video recording as well as our information on the ISO help desk knowledge base page. This also includes a video for commenting. This is more for those members using option A who are commenting directly into the OSD. But take a look to see which of these resources work best for you and your committees. Thank you for watching this recording. We hope that this helps you get started using the OSD.